Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And by the 6th Annual Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Funds EV Raffle. Get 2 chances to win from 1 ticket. More details later in the show. And by Energy Sage. Visit the link in the description to find local, verified solar experts, community projects, and heat pump specialists in your area. Welcome back to another episode of TEN Transport Evolved News. Thanks for joining me. We start today's show with news from Tesla's annual shareholder meeting, at which the future of Elon Musk's pay deal and where Tesla will be incorporated was voted upon. In the lead-up to the shareholder meeting, tallied early votes seemed to suggest that the proposal to move Tesla's state of incorporation to Texas and to reapprove Elon Musk's $55 billion pay package had split shareholder support. But the day before the meeting, Elon Musk leaked data to suggest that both had overwhelming support. Aside from the legal implications from this, which could attract an SEC investigation, the final provisional vote did indeed fall in Tesla and Elon Musk's favour on all Tesla-panned proposals, including the pay and relocation package. Only 2 shareholder proposals were approved, despite Tesla recommending against them, one on reducing director terms to 1 year and one on simple majority voting. Proposals which were audibly booed by the assembled audience at the meeting. The rest of the shareholder proposals, including ones on collective bargaining rights, anti-discrimination, sustainability reporting, and a moratorium on not using deep-sea dredged minerals, were voted against. As the shareholder vote was taking place, Elon Musk was sued by a group of shareholders angry about threats he made in the lead-up to the shareholder meeting if things didn't go his way. Late last week, which is why we didn't include it in last week's show, Rivian unveiled its official refresh to its R1S and R1T electric vehicles. While there's very little in appearance to differentiate the second-generation models from previous model years, Rivian says there's been some big changes underneath, with the R1's onboard computer technology, infotainment, power electronics and drivetrain all getting refreshed. For a start, there are new motors built in-house with a choice of dual, tri or quad motor drivetrain, with the spiciest version offering a sprint time of 2.5 seconds and nearly 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. Rivian has slashed in-vehicle ECUs, reducing build cost, and customers can now opt for an LFP battery pack on some variants. Pricing starts from just under $70,000. Although we would have loved to have made an in-depth drive review, we weren't invited to this particular launch event, so we couldn't. Sorry. It's official. Unless the wheels of diplomacy can turn before July 4th, the European Union will start applying tariffs to Chinese-made EVs coming to the EU for sale. As announced mid-week, details of the tariff aren't quite as clear-cut as you might hope, with different automakers charged different tariffs that are dependent on a whole host of different factors, including how individual automakers complied with a nearly year-long EU investigation into subsidies offered by the Chinese government to Chinese automakers that effectively gave them a competitive advantage in the EU marketplace. Tariffs are expected to range between 17% and a whopping 38%, but Tesla, which submitted a request to the EU, may, quote, receive an individually calculated duty rate at the definitive stage, end quote. As always with developing stories, we'll share more news when we have it. Volkswagen has confirmed this week that it's finalized the design work for its upcoming ID.2 electric hatchback. While we don't have official images or videos to share, what you're currently seeing are of the concept car version. Volkswagen's chief designer told Autocar this week that the final design of the ID.2 is even better than what you're seeing, and leveraged all of the concept car feedback that Volkswagen received. Inside, it's confirmed the interior of the ID.2 will be a lot more conventional than some of the other ID-badged vehicles, with Volkswagen admitting the heavy focus on touchscreens and capacitive buttons as found in other ID family vehicles has done some significant damage to the brand. Expect a production intent vehicle reveal in the coming months. For the past few weeks, we've been hearing rumours about Ford's planned changes to its EV dealership program, and this week those changes were officially announced. To date, dealerships wanting to sell Ford EVs had to become EV certified by investing in DC fast charging infrastructure at their dealerships and by ensuring they sent staff on EV-specific sales and service training, as well as ensuring that EVs for sale were posted online at predetermined set prices. But as of July 1st, Ford will end that program entirely, meaning that Ford's EVs can now be sold by any of Ford's dealerships. While there are some negative effects of this, it does now mean that all Ford dealerships who want to can order and sell EVs, although I should note not all dealerships will have on-staff service personnel who'll be able to work on them. If you're watching this show, let's be honest, the chances are you're already pretty interested in EVs, so you're also probably aware of which automakers are currently leading in the EV marketplace. But a new survey this week from New Automotive shows troubling results that suggest the way automakers are increasingly use electric and electrified to market hybrids is impacting the general public's impressions of what EVs are. In the survey, which polled respondents in multiple countries, 70% thought the term electrified meant fully battery electric. This goes some way to explain why respondents, when asked what percentage of automakers' new vehicle sales they believed were electric, said that Honda, Toyota and Nissan were all selling high numbers of EVs, when the reality is very, very different. One of the most common criticisms of electric vehicles is the length of time they take to fast charge on a road trip when compared to stopping to fill up with gasoline or diesel. Automakers have made some really impressive improvements to fast charging over the last decade, with the latest generation of 800-volt EVs adding several hours of driving range in 15 to 20 minutes. But this week, we learned that Chinese automaker BYD, working alongside battery specialist CATL, is developing a battery that's capable of charging at rates of up to 6C, meaning you could add a few hundred miles of range in less time than it takes to visit the bathroom and grab an unhealthy snack from a nearby convenience store. This kind of charging speed is still a long way from commercialization, but it would certainly shut up the naysayers. For a little while at least. It's official. Germany is home to more EV production than any other European country, and it's second in the world only to China. That's according to official figures from the German Automotive Industry Association, which just published its official 2023 production figures. Last year, 1.27 million plug-in vehicles rolled off production lines in Germany, of which 995,000 were battery electric. Germany, it should be said, has the largest number of automotive production facilities in Europe, so it's no surprise it's also producing the highest number of EVs of any European country. That said, it shows how far other countries are behind. In second place in Europe is Spain, with just over 250,000 EVs made. Pretty much every major automaker in the world has a performance arm of some description, and while it doesn't get a lot of press attention, Alpine is the performance arm of Renault. This week, it unveiled its hot hatch variant of the upcoming Renault 5 EV, the less catchily named Alpine A290. While the name isn't exactly the best we've heard, the specs of the A290 should excite, with substantially more power at the wheels than any of the Renault 5 E-Tech variants. 180 horsepower, 132 kilowatts for the GT and GT Premium, or 220 horsepower, 161 kilowatts for the GT Performance and GTS variants. In its fastest guise, the sprint times sit at 6.4 seconds, which isn't that quick for an expensive performance EV, but it's very respectable for a hot hatch designed to be quick on twisties, as well as in a straight line. Electrical vertical takeoff and landing company Archer Aviation has been in the news a lot in recent weeks, and this week is no exception, as the company has just passed yet another milestone. As explained by the company midweek, its Midnight eVTOL craft, fresh from receiving its Part 135 certification from the FAA last week, has completed a successful transition flight, hitting a cruising speed in excess of 100 miles per hour. For those who don't know, a transition flight is the term given to the flight pattern an eVTOL craft makes when it lifts off the ground like a helicopter, then rotates its propellers to allow forward flight like a plane, before then rotating its propellers again for a safe vertical landing. In announcing the milestone, Archer Aviation says its development and pre-production flight testing is proceeding as planned. Our short shorts are coming in a second, but first, a word from our friends at the Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund and its 6th annual EV Raffle. A long-established non-profit, the Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund has been working hard to fight climate change for years, and its EV Raffle is a fantastic way for you to support its effective environmental work, while also having not one, but 2 chances to win a brand new electric vehicle of your very own with each ticket. This year, the raffle has a choice of a bunch of amazing EVs for the first prize winner, a choice of Rivian or Tesla models, so you can choose the prize that best fits your needs. Meanwhile, if you're lucky enough to win second place, you'll get the eminently versatile and well-built Hyundai Ioniq 5, a car that we've praised plenty on this channel. Only 7,000 tickets will be sold at $200 each, so grab your chance of winning and support a fantastic climate crisis fighting charity by heading to evraffle.org. They sold out early last year, so make sure you nab a ticket before they're all gone. And now it's time for short shorts, and yet again we're starting with recalls, the first of which is for various limited production Karma Reveros to rectify intermittently failing turn signals. 269 examples are affected and owners will be contacted. Nissan has recalled certain models of its Ariya EV for an oil leak caused by a faulty O-ring in the front motor inside affected vehicles. The oil, which provides motor cooling, can leak internally and cause an unexpected loss of drive power, increasing your risk of crash. Volvo Trucks is recalling some of its Class 8 big rigs, including the electric VNRE, to address an improperly heat-treated ball stud in the steering drag link of affected vehicles. Owners are advised not to use their trucks until remedial work has been completed. Mack Trucks is also recalling 24 MMDe electric trucks for a faulty battery management software that might unexpectedly cause the high-voltage battery pack to power off, which results in sudden loss of steering and drive power. Owners are advised not to drive their trucks. Kia is recalling some EV9s to address an issue with inadequate headliner impact protection in approximately 2,500 EV9 SUVs. It says dealers will retrofit new impact absorbing plates into the headliner and will contact owners by the end of July. Volvo has recalled all EX30 EVs made to date to address a fault with the car's software system that could force the speedometer to go into test mode when the vehicle is started. It's planning an over-the-air software update rollout to address the issue. We all thought 2024 would be the Nissan LEAF's last production year, but Nissan confirmed this week that the LEAF gets another year of sales, in North America at least, with a price tag of just over $28,000 US. Yay for affordability! Tesla's recent round of layoffs in the last few months have apparently given the UAW a chance to increase interest in unionization at some of its production facilities. While Tesla shareholders voted against union-friendly approaches, the UAW is calling on Tesla factory staff to sign up. Genesis has become the latest in a line of luxury automakers to tweak lease deals to try and gain some much-needed market share in the luxury EV segment. This week, we learned it's offering lease deals for as low as $339 per month on the GV60. Canadian-based charging network company Flow has just announced it's secured $136 million in long-term capital to help it increase charging station production and network expansion. Much of the funding came from a Series E funding round. Marquardt, working alongside other partners in the EV world, is readying a public demonstration next week of a robotic charging station for use at public charging stations. Robotic fast charging solutions will dramatically improve charger station accessibility for many EV owners. Honda has announced it will be offering its Prologue EV for lease in the US for as low as $399 per month, putting its lease deal at a lower effective price than current Tesla Model Y lease deals. We should expect a price war from Tesla soon. Daimler Trucks has established a new charging subsidiary in Europe called Truck Charge. It's designed to offer fleet operators and industrial companies the chance to design and deploy fast charging solutions that work for their heavy-duty fleet, but it's independent of truck brand. The Scottish National Investment Bank has invested £10 million in Scottish charging network ForEV to help it expand charging station provision across the country. The funds will help expand and future-proof existing EV charging infrastructure too. NIO has published its first quarter financials, and while it had previously enjoyed several positive years of growth, it recorded a 3.2% drop in vehicle deliveries during Q1, year over year, with 30,053 vehicles delivered between January and March. Mercedes-Benz and Alpitronic have signed a supply agreement that will bring the Alpitronic HYC 400 charging station to North American Mercedes-Benz charging sites. It is, claims Alpitronic, the world's most efficient 400 kilowatt capable fast charger. Porsche and ChargePoint have announced a new partnership agreement that will grant Porsche owners in North America seamless plug-and-play access to the ChargePoint network of fast charging stations through integration with the My Porsche app. The average new price of EVs sold in May in the US rose by 3.1%, according to data from Cox Automotive. But as several news outlets have noted, including Inside EVs, the increase in price was due to sales of the Tesla Cybertruck, whose average six-figure price tag pushed overall figures upwards. Unlike Norman from Yes Man, most people now know it's pretty easy to get Costco membership, and it's not at all exclusive. But if you do have Costco membership, you might be able to nab a GM EV for a bit of a discount. That's because GM and Costco are apparently digging deep to offer Costco members preferential pricing on a new Ultium-based EV, or Costco. The US National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has followed in the tyre tracks of the EPA and has lowered its corporate average fuel economy goals, setting a new target of 50.4 miles per gallon average by 2031, which is down from a 55.7 mpg target previously. The long-awaited Tesla Model Y refresh won't happen this year. Tesla CEO Elon Musk confirmed this week that the refresh, similar to the Highland Model 3, is codenamed Juniper and will instead come sometime next year. Charging network Iona, jointly established by a large number of automakers to rival Tesla's Supercharger network in North America, has announced it will be headquartered in North Carolina. It's also announced a new round of hires for its executive leadership team. Volkswagen's CFO and COO has confirmed that it will be spending roughly $65 billion of the $193 billion it set aside last year for research and development to, quote, keep our combustion cars competitive, end quote. The Boring Company has reportedly finished building a massive underground tunnel at Tesla's Giga Austin facility. The tunnel will be used to move Tesla Cybertrucks from the construction line to a holding facility on the other side of a major highway. In order to benefit from the current US incentive for electric vehicles made in North America, Audi is reportedly investing a total of $1 billion into a new EV manufacturing facility in Mexico. EVs made in Mexico currently qualify for US tax incentives. GM has confirmed that it expects its yearly EV production for 2024 to be as much as one half of what it originally hoped. Talking this week, the company's CFO said that the new target is between 200,000 and 250,000 EVs. Charging infrastructure installer Q-Merit has announced a new product for homeowners with EVs. Powerhouse by Q-Merit. It's a suite of bundled electrification solutions for those who want to have two-way EV charging, vehicle to home, and on-site energy storage. A judge in California has ruled that Tesla must face trial in a court case brought against it by the California Department of Motor Vehicles over allegedly false advertising its FSD and autopilot. It stands accused of telling the DMV and customers very different things about what its systems could actually do. Good Energy in the UK has given ZapMap £1.7 million in convertible loans to help it expand its B2B services ZapMap Spark and ZapMap Insights, which are both designed to give businesses access to public charging station data. After several months of layoffs, Tesla has begun to rehire employees in earnest. Initially, following a job freeze, Tesla only hired AI and robotic specialists, but now it's started to post hundreds of jobs in other parts of the company, the majority of which are in service and sales. Chevrolet has announced some price cuts for the 2025 model year Blazer EV, which price is now falling as much as $6,500. However, Chevrolet has also removed many previously standard fit items and now charges extra for them as optional extras. The US federal government has announced that it's now funded more than $1 billion in EV purchase incentives since the start of this year. Unlike previous years, incentives can be applied at point of sale for most new and some used car purchases. In response to impending tariffs on Chinese-made EVs, Tesla has warned customers in Europe of an upcoming price hike. Meanwhile, Volvo has announced a shift of EV production for European market EVs from China to European factories, meaning its European market EVs won't be tariffed. Jaguar Land Rover has confirmed it's signed a deal with Chery to use two different modular vehicle platforms to underpin new models for the brand. The two platforms, M3X and EOX, will be supplied to Jaguar Land Rover through Chery-owned subsidiary Exceed. Tesla says it now has two Optimus Robots working at Tesla production facilities. And unlike in the past where they were supervised by humans, Tesla says these are working fully autonomously alongside staff on the production line. We haven't seen any videos of this happening. And finally, for the shorts, the A-Spark Owl SP600 has just set a brand new high-speed record for EVs, hitting an impressive 438.7 kilometers per hour, which is about 272 miles per hour on a test track in Italy. The vehicle was a production intent model, so can loosely claim the title of the fastest production EV from the current record holder, the Rimac Nevera. And those are your shorts. There will be more next week. Our final two stories are next, but first a quick word from a long-time video sponsor of the channel, Energy Sage. Energy Sage helps homeowners connect with local verified installers across the US and now heat pump specialists in select markets who really know their stuff and can help you navigate the process of installing solar panels, help you join a community solar program, or get a heat pump installed. I used Energy Sage when we were looking for installers willing to help us put solar panels on the roof of our home, and our Energy Sage verified installers were professional, knowledgeable, and even put us in touch with an amazing credit union that allowed us to finance our solar panels for as low a monthly payment as possible. Follow the links below to sign up for either of Energy Sage's free, no-obligation services and get the ball rolling today. If you choose to use an Energy Sage installer for your project, we will also get a small referral fee, so you'll be helping us out too. Help the grid get greener and save money and support the show. It's a win-win-win. And now it's time for our final two stories. As we have reminded you several times, this year is the US presidential election where former president and convicted felon Donald Trump is hoping to oust current incumbent President Joe Biden from the White House and become president for a second time. And regardless of what you think of the two main candidates, their political opinions, or their support of policies that harm the world and its inhabitants, some of the stuff we're hearing flying around about EVs is just bizarre. In a recent stump speech in Nevada, Donald Trump went off script and attacked electric vehicles, claiming that electric trucks are 2 to 3 times the weight of internal combustion engine ones, complained that there's no charging infrastructure, said that electric boats will sink because of their weight, implied that said electric boats will electrocute those on board in the event of a claimed sinking, and also said that every bridge in the US would require strengthening to deal with the weight of EVs. It's amusing in some ways to hear the sheer misinformation being spread, but at the very same time, also very scary, especially since so many people actually believe everything he says on pretty much every subject. And finally, after that previous story, I think it's worth finishing on a positive note, and one that does dovetail quite well into FUD busting all of the misinformation out there. Which FUD? Well, the one that suggests nobody wants to buy or drive EVs. A claim that we hear former President Trump state very regularly, and one that we see repeated in our comments section and uttered by news outlets aplenty. But new sales data shows that in April this year, global plug-in vehicle sales, that's EVs and plug-in hybrids combined, soared 25% year over year, with 1.2 million new plug-in vehicles hitting the road. Of those 1.2 million, 800,000 were battery electric, up 14% year over year. In the first 4 months of this year, 4.5 million new vehicles, representing 20% of all vehicles sold globally, were sold with a plug. I don't know about you, but that's progress. And on that note, we are done with today's show. As always, a massive thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring the show. They've been advocating for EVs since 1967 and firmly believe that our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. The EVA can help you find someone near to you that can help you make that switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. Plus, if you become a member, you'll gain access to a clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EVA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. Find out more by heading to myeva.org. And thanks to the 6th Annual Chesapeake Climate Action Network Action Fund's EV Raffle. Support a good cause and get 2 chances to win a brand new EV with every ticket. And thanks to Energy Sage. Follow the links below to find out how easy it can be to get verified, trustworthy solar experts helping you make the step towards energy self-sufficiency through solar on the roof of your home, by joining a community solar project, or by getting a heat pump installed. As usual, we would love it if you'd consider supporting the channel from $1 a month on Patreon, or about $10.08 a year. We chose to operate a primarily viewer-supported model because it allows us to keep editorial impartiality while simultaneously ensuring our output is free for everyone to consume. That said, without support from those who can, we wouldn't be able to keep doing this, so if you do already support, thank you, and if you don't yet, please consider it. And if Patreon isn't your thing, check out our swag store, where there is a new design for the month of June. Pride is here, so grab our new design and let your flag fly. Or perhaps get last year's. It's pretty cool. It, along with the rest of our designs, is there for all of your swag-related needs. And of course, I will be back next week with more content, with Kate and I producing content for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. To finish, remember that you're valid and loved and have a place in this world, even if lawmakers, pundits and talking heads want you to not exist or want to restrict your rights. This year has seen many rights eroded around the world, and it can sometimes be hard to keep on keeping on. I know that myself, but know that your existence is resistance. And even if you're not affected by eroding rights, do remember to register to vote and get involved in your local political scene. Have your say, whatever that is. It is part of our democratic process. So until next time, stay safe regardless of who you love or your identity. Be an amazing ally, be kind, and please, for the sake of everyone's future, keep evolving.